and he's and kings are killing kings. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop that. We got to stop the mentality. How do we do that? We got to get these kids more jobs. They need to have more activities. They need to have um, better ways to get out of the hood. You know what I'm saying? It's like only like Biggie said. It's either you know what I'm saying. You got a wicked jump shot or you sling a crack rock. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of options, and we don't get a lot of you know we don't get a lot of options.
Of the freedom of speech,
The other side of the non-disclosure agreements, the agreements.
The perfect cleanse and reboot for a healthy immune system. 100% natural. Miracle food is suitable for all ages. Get your miracle food today.
The Asbury Park, it pertains to a lot of the relationship between the inner city and the police department and the fractured relationship that we have. And we speak about this a lot on the show, but in the recent events of young Dolph passing away, we've also brought up the conversation of, unfortunately, we got to start holding ourselves accountable too, because we have a lot of rappers and hip hop artists out here that are dying at the hands of people that look just like us and walk just like us. And what can we do to remedy that issue too? Because if we remedy that issue, then maybe we garner enough respect to be able to have a deeper conversation with other people outside of our race. So, Fredro, I want to kind of bring this to you. Talk about the current state of hip hop as it stands now with the violence and things like that. And how do you feel about it?
It's really when we came up, hip hop was more about who could be the best rapper. Now it's about who could be the best trapper. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I think the current state of hip hop is great as far as music. I think the kids are really expressing themselves, and it's always been a young man's game. And the music is dope, but I just think that hip hop needs to think first and stop and think about what they're doing before they do it, because now it's like every rapper got a gun, every rapper wants to kill somebody, every rapper wants to they want to swipe, they want to hustle. You know what I'm saying? That's not what it's about, man. You know what I'm saying? I just think that, coming from the hood, we got to do what we got to do. It's like kind of like we trapped in the hood. You know what I'm saying? And everybody want to get out. And if somebody got it, like young Dolph, you mentioned, who definitely had it. He had the way out the hood. He was on his way to being, a great entrepreneur. And, people don't like to see that. The wolves is always out, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you just got to be careful in the hood. Look at Jam Master Jay. Look at Big L. Look at Nipsey Hussle, Young Dolph. All these guys got killed in their own neighborhoods, the neighborhoods that they always continue to give back to. It's not like these guys are from the neighborhood and they turned their back on the neighborhood. These guys are like, always representing their hood. And to turn around and get murdered like that is just crazy, man. So I just don't think it's a hip hop thing. I just think it's a hood thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just the mentality of the hood. If somebody got it and I ain't got it, the jealousy just sets in, man. So just got to be careful out there and just stay creative, bro.
Right. Would you say to, that going back, not to not go back to the hood, but make sure you go back with security being protected at this point, because this is to a point now where, even in your hometown, like you said, they're starting to come at people now. How you feel about that?
I feel like, security is not going to save you, man. When the Grim Reaper is coming for you, he's coming for you. You know what I'm saying? You just got every day like it should last, and be precautious, but at the same time, you never know who's that guy just sitting there plotting on you. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. But you definitely got to be precautious when you're moving in the hood, bro. You can't just do the same things you used to do if you made it out. So,
Absolutely. I want to ask both of you guys this, because obviously we're in even a different age of hip hop to where the cell phones and social media, it almost runs the world and people are reacting on what they're seeing, because It was a lot of shit going on back in the 90s and 80s and early 2000s with hip hop. And we've heard the stories and stuff, but it wasn't anything on this elevated level that we see here. The labels, and I know a lot of people are independent, but labels have a lot to do with it. Do they hold any type of accountability when it comes to these artists and what they're doing out here and maybe kind of getting a little more of a stronghold on them? Do you think that the labels hold any accountability in this?
No, I don't think they have anything to do with it. Labels and corporations, they're not in our world. They sit at the desk, they go to their houses in Long Island or the Hollywood Hills. They don't understand what's going on. They just put the fuel behind the fire. Has nothing to do with the labels. The labels, media, social media, it has something to do with the persons, the people that live in the hoods. You know, I see what my son is doing, activist from New York, and he's and kings are killing kings. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop that. We got to stop the mentality. How do we do that? We got to get these kids more jobs. They need to have more activities. They need to have better ways to get out of the hood. You know what I'm saying? It's like only, like Biggie said, it's either, you know what I'm saying, you got a wicked jump shot or you slinging crack rock. Like there's not a lot of options, and we don't get a lot of, you know, we don't get a lot of options. We stuck, man. So, you know, we need to, that needs to start happening. Maybe start training kids in school about, you know, Bitcoin, stock markets, and, you know, stuff that's really going to help you in life. You know what I'm saying? I think school has a lot to learn, a lot to do with this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? We have to teach our kids to be entrepreneurs, teach our kids to be self-efficient, and not depend on what they give us.
Word.
You want to answer that, Legend, too?
Yeah, we're kind of piggybacking on what Fredro said. A lot of schools are pretty much training people to be employees, and that's a big part of the problem. You know, to go through school and not know how to handle a bank account.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We not learned that in inner city schools. We not learned about entrepreneurship, and oftentimes they're so busy pushing academics that they're not looking at, you know, like really looking at the arts programs like they should. You know, like as many kids want to be rappers, how come they don't have rapping as a subject in high school? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's put people, take these kids and put them in positions to better themselves beyond, because, you know, everybody's not meant for academia. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so let's cultivate these other talents. And that was one of the things that I was happy I was able to do with Asbury Park, bring several kids on board and show that they can do something other than, you know, just academic stuff, because a lot of these kids are talented and have future in entertainment.
How do we get the children in the inner cities and the hoods to know that the rapper, he's just telling his story, but not to actually go out there and do it? You know, because we see Onyx, they came on the scene, the media painted them, you know, as one way, as being a violent hip hop group, you know, but how do we tell these kids, like, all right, look, yeah, that's just entertainment. They've been through that, but I don't want you to do that. Any of y'all could take that one.
I think parents, you know, like, everybody always wants to push accountability on the place.
They have to learn from.
Go ahead.
Right.
Right.
I mean, you know, the kids have to learn from themselves. You know, now the gang culture, you know, all across America, not just on the West Coast, is everywhere. That just shows you that there's no love in the streets. They got to go to gang members to get the love. They're not getting what they need at home, and you know, it's just a lot of homes, a lot of broken promises, and the hood is broken. It needs to be fixed. You know what I'm saying? We need, when the PP checks came in, you know, it's time to work, and people don't want to work. That's dope, man. I like that. All right. Word. It's
I spit white like a clan mask, and I'm a hustler. I could stand out on the beach and sell sandbags. Some things can't last, but this ain't just a podcast. This is Sam Ant and Old Godcast. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam and riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam and riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive. Go gang.